welcome back. This is card number 3 in today's Rainbow Creative class. And we're stepping up a little bit now. We're going to stamp some actual rainbows. If you don't have the stamp set for this, you can cut out some of the rainbows from your Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper set. But just be mindful, you will need quite a few for your sampler frame if you want to create it as I have done. Okay, so this one you'll need the kit number 3, and there's a bit going on here. We're going to use the Stamparator stamping platform, which I absolutely love using. And you've got a rainbow on the outside and half a rainbow inside, and you've got this lovely background rainbow as well. What I love about this card is when you think of rainbows, you think of very much different colours. I've used different colours, but I've used them in one colour family. So I've used them in the yellow colour family. And on the card that we've just done, you had the mini rainbow arches. What you've got in this kit is you've got a mask. This is where we cut them from, but this is the mask you're going to use to add the rainbow detail in the background of your card. Okay, so I'll talk you through what you've got in your kit. So you will have a card base that's cut from Mango Melody card, a top layer that we're going to add our masking to. You will have 2 clouds that have been die cut for you. These come from the Give It a Whirl dies, which work really well with this kit. You will have a piece of basic white which is going inside your card, and then extra pieces that I've got a piece of scrap white which we're going to stamp our rainbow on, and I've got some scrap basic black which I'm going to heat emboss my sentiment onto. Okay, so we'll start by creating the background of this card. Okay, so you're going to need your mask, you're going to need a blending brush, or you can use a sponge dauber for this if you've got one, and I've got a Mango Melody ink pad. You can use Daffodil Delight, that would work well. You can use Crushed Curry, any of the yellows will work. And we're going to just quite simply add our detail like so. I'm going to take my Mango Melody and I'm going to just go over that like so, and you get a really nice background there. It's up to you how much ink you add. Obviously the darker you go, the brighter your rainbows will be on your card. And I'm sort of mixing it up a bit, so I'm changing how dark they are just on each one like so. And I actually find this quite therapeutic doing this. And it's one of the great things about our colours, in that they coordinate so well together. When you ask people what they love about Stampin' Up, a lot of people will say, I love the coordination. And for me, that's what I love as well. So this is the same colour we're using, same colour card and same colour ink. And you get a really nice sort of tone on tone effect. Okay, so add as many as you wish. Just going to do another little one up here because I've got a bit of a gap. And there we have it. I also absolutely love the way the mask looks after, so you may want to use that on another card design if you so wish. So there we have our rainbow background piece, and I think that's really pretty. So we can go ahead and stick that down. There we have it. So we're going to put that to one side now, and we're going to bring in our Stamparator. Now if you haven't seen one of these before, don't worry. You can use blocks now, but I feel like I don't use my Stamparatus enough, hence why I'm using it today with you guys. So this is a precision stamping platform, and when you're doing precision stamping like this and you want everything to be in a certain place, it's great. It's also great for using when you want to mass produce something. It's really quick stamping. Everything gets in the same place every time and it's just as we want it. Okay, so I'm going to bring this piece of card in and I'm going to sit it. If you sit it in the corner, you'll know it's in the same place every time. We're not too bothered about that because we're only doing one. But what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use this technique later, is I'm going to line my piece of card up with this edge of this notch here, okay? And I'm going to stick it down with these magnets. Now, if you've got one of these stamping platforms, you'll know that you want to keep these magnets quite far apart, because if you don't, they'll end up sticking to each other. You don't want that. So we are now going to stamp our rainbow, and I'm going to start with the biggest arch. It doesn't matter how you start. Some people will start at the bottom, but I'm going to start with the biggest. So now obviously these rainbows are really movable. So to keep the arch kind of as a true arch, I'm just going to hold it at the top and I'm going to lay it on my piece of card. Now, because we're going to cut this out, it doesn't matter if you've stuck where you've stuck that down. So just leave it where it is, bring in this stamping platform, give it a firm press, and it will pick up your stamp. Now what you can do, you can see this magnet is moving because it's quite close to that. So I'm just going to change that position ever so slightly so that it doesn't catch. That's better. So that now sits really nicely on my piece of card. The magnet isn't interfering with the mechanism here, and the card isn't moving too much when I'm picking it up. Okay. Now I've just noticed I've got a little bit of a mark there. It's because my platform is dirty. So that's fine. There's two sides to a piece of card. We're going to turn it over. Okay. Like so. So that's still working as we want it. So now we can go ahead and add our ink. So my top arch is going to be stamped in Magenta Madness, which is not that colour. This is Magenta Madness. So add your ink over here and then bring your platform over, give it a good press, and then give it a good press over here and then lift it up. Okay, now if you want that arch to be a bit darker, this is the joy of the stamping platform. You add more ink, you bring it back over, and it's going to stamp that in exactly the same place. So you've now got a really lovely dark magenta, Mango Melody ink. I think I said Magenta Madness first. Now we're going to leave that exactly where it is, and we're going to lift our plate up, turn it round and pop it down. And now what we have is we have a brand new plate in which we can add our next arch to. So our next arch is going to be a solid arch, and it's going to be in Daffodil Delight. Okay, so this is my next arch. So what you're going to do now, we want to make sure that it follows the same arch sort of pattern, and this is where the stamping platform is really good, because you can get that into place really well, and then you bring this over, you pick it up. Oh, it should stay where it is. But the good thing is we can check that again. So that's moved slightly. So all we do is we take it off again. You obviously need to make sure your stamps are clean when you're doing this. Pick it up. Oh, it slipped. It's my fault. I would normally have my head right over this, but if I put my head right over it, all you're going to see in the video is my head, and you don't want that. That's it. So that looks fine. Now, to keep your card in place, kind of slide your scissors in. Lovely. Okay, so now we've got Daffodil Delight that we can stamp. Bring that over and give that a good stamp. So this stamping platform works really nicely with this set of stamps. There we have it. It's a bit wobbly, but hey, it's a handmade card and this is the style that we're going for. So now you can take that off now and you can just put that to one side. It also gives you the chance to clean your plates, which is something I obviously didn't do when I finished last time, and we can put this one in. Okay, so the next one we're going for is this lines. Okay, yep, that's clean. And this again is going to be lined up underneath that second arch. Bring your platform over. Just give that a check to make sure you're happy where that is. I'm happy. Give that a stamp. We're stamping in black. Bring that over. Give it a push. I clearly don't put enough pressure on that side, do I? It's twice I've done that. Pick up your plates, turn it round, and then we can go in with our smallest arch to finish. Okay. Just check that's where we want it. It looks good. And then this one we're going to stamp in So Saffron ink, which is the yellow from the Subtles. If you don't have all these different ink colours, please don't worry. You can change, you can do them all in the same yellow, or feel free to change the colours to something that you have. Okay, so there we have our rainbow all stamped. I'm going to put my Stamparatus to one side, and then we have our finished rainbow. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this out with my trusty snips. So obviously if you needed to stamp a lot of different rainbows, the Stamparatus is a great tool, because now they're all stuck down, all you need to do is change a bit of card, so it works really nicely. Obviously if you're only going to stamp one, feel free to use the traditional acrylic blocks. But I always forget to use my Stamparatus, so I wanted to show you it in action. I still remember seeing the first demo for that and it just blew our minds. It was amazing. So our rainbow now is going to get stuck down onto our card, and I'm going to stick that on with some dimensionals. Okay. Like so. And that's going to go in the top section of our card. Okay. We can bring in our clouds. You should have two different shaped clouds. One sort of with a long tail as such, and I'm going to pop that over this side, and then this one here is going to go there as well. I'm going to add my glue to the bottom part of my rainbow and stick that down, and then this one here is going to get stuck again to the bottom part of our rainbow, like so. Okay, and then inside our card, we'll do that bit in a moment, we'll do our stamping. First I'm bringing in black card. We're going to heat emboss same way as we've done all the other two. Add our embossing powder, and this says, "You make this world a better place." Such a lovely sentiment and such a lovely thing to tell someone as well. I need to have a little clean. I need to put my embossing powder through a sieve, because over the time I've picked up lots of different scraps in there. So I'm going to cut this into a bit of an angled banner, like so. So it's a bit higgledy-piggledy. That's my word of today's class. And I'm going to stick that down just so that it overlaps this little cloud here. Okay. And there we have our card front all finished for that card. Now when we look inside the card, you have a rainbow down here. Now this is where we either need to revert back to our original stamping blocks, or we change the way we angle our plates on here. And I think we need to change the way we angle our plates. Oh, sorry, we need to change the way. No, we don't. Okay, so our plates were originally here, but obviously we can't get our card in there. So we're going to use this plate up the top. Okay, so what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to put our card in here. So I'm going to turn the whole thing round so the plate is still on my left. Okay, so this is the joy of the stamping platform. You can really make it work for you. So let's just check the way this is going to go. So if I put my card about, and you'll see there's actual grid lines on this paper, on this plate. So if I put that about there, okay, and I'm only going to use one magnet. What this will do is that magnet will hold it where it needs to be. And we will be able to stamp our rainbow. So let's just, this is my concentrating voice. So let's move that across just a little bit. Perfect. Right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did before. Okay. Add our ink. Give it a bit of a press, like so, and then we're going to turn it round. And this is when the hard work of the Stamparatus pays off, in that you've got everything lined up where you need it to be. You know now that this is all because where it needs to be. So we're just going to carry on stamping. Okay. Now, to you, this might feel a bit more faffy than just stamping with acrylic blocks, but it's quite nice to show something different. Okay. Turn that one round. And our last one is so saffron. And there we have our lovely matching rainbow on the inside of our card, all done. And it's just about how clever you are with where you put your stamps. Okay, so there we have, just like so. So I've got more of a rainbow on this one than I have there, but I still think it looks lovely. We've just got happy birthday to stamp at the bottom. And again, I'm using this happy birthday stamp from the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. And that's just getting lined up like so. And that one it overlaps ever so slightly. And there you have it, our third card, all finished, and with our lovely stamped rainbows and a heat embossed sentiment to bring it all together. I actually think this is my favourite card of the four, but it might be the last. I'll find out in a minute. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Enjoy. Hope you're enjoying the day, and we've got one more video to go. Bye for now.